I was trying to have everything packed up by January 1st, but that didn't happen. I won't tell you what today's date is. Last day on the job, I had to get my sausage po' boy with the fake po' boy bread that I like, my baked beans, and my green beans. I'm a happy person. At first, I was worried because after they came and took my car and took my household items, I didn't have a car to take the rest of the stuff to the dumpster, because at my apartment complex, the dumpster is like really far away. So I was really worried, like, oh man, am I gonna have to leave the stuff in here? Am I gonna have to count on somebody? You can't always count on other people. Sometimes, or you don't want to bother people. So I was really worried. Then I got the idea to rent a car. So I went to enterprise.com, and then the genius of the idea was that I realized I could rent the car with points, so I only had to pay $9. So I'm stunting like my daddy. I got me a big F-150 up in this. Hey, F-150 up in this. With the bed. So now I can take stuff to the dumpster before I fly out to California tomorrow, forever, or for the near future. I don't know how long I'll be in California, but I'm moving to LA, y'all. Boop boop. Here go that F-150 up in this boy. I like to sit up high. I never got a big truck for myself, but I'm renting one. Biggin'. So I could transport these stuff to the dumpster so I can get my security deposit back. Sitting here at the Las Vegas airport, about to board my flight. I was trying to tell how my day went thus far. Well, on my layover, but I ain't got that much time, so headed to LA now. First day living in LA. First full day in California, about to go to this African American museum. And you can see a car randomly driving where it shouldn't be driving. But yeah. Already getting down with the get down, going to events and stuff. First time driving in California. It's going pretty well. Nothing crazy happened yet. Traffic's been pretty decent. You seeing all these cars is the first amount of cars that's been this dense since I've been driving. But here we go. California driving. California dreaming. First traffic buildup of my driving in LA. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Uh-oh, they about to cut that person off. Y'all don't know how to drive.
Women in film is another good one too.
Most organizations, you know, so look up organizations that are entertainment related, are going to have some sort of either event that you can pay to go or become a member and then you get all the free events. And then if you're, you know, just got out of school or you are still a student or stuff like that, like they'll have discounts, things like that. It's useful to, like, if you have like a writer that you like already or an executive that you know, or do the research to find out who the executive is that you would want to meet type thing. They will sit on panels, and then so you can just Google them and like.
Having dinner with the cuzzo.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
I've had one of my first LA experiences. Somebody hit my car while I wasn't there, and luckily she left a note, so yeah. Welcome to LA. This is the damage that was done to my car. Little speckles of red.
With things like that, so we're on the up and coming, and it's just a beautiful experience to just hear where everybody is striving to make moves. I am a writer-director. I'm into horror movies, which is super rare.
So I need to recount my day. That Saturday I flew to Los Angeles, because the further I get away from it, the more I will probably forget. And so I've been in Los Angeles for about a little bit over a week, maybe a week and a half. And so the morning of, let's see, what was that, February 8th? If that's a Saturday, that's the right date. But that was the day I flew out to come live in Los Angeles. I woke up at like maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. My flight was at 4:45. So theoretically you would think that's enough time to do things, but apparently it wasn't. So from 8 a.m. to noon is sort of a blur. Don't really know what I accomplished during that time, but I know I was packing up my apartment and I had all of this stuff. Like, I had literally had bottles full of cleaning products. And that's because the way I shop is that I want backup, or I just don't remember what I have and I buy more. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to throw all this stuff away. I had some food in my cabinet, some food in my refrigerator, and I'm like, man, I don't want to throw all this stuff away. So I'm like, okay, let me go to give it to my mom. So I just like packed up all the stuff, and you know, black people had grocery bags, so I had plenty of grocery bags to pack up like groceries. And so I packed up maybe 5, 6, 7 bags of stuff to take over to her. And so when I left, I was like, okay, my goal is to get back to my apartment by 2:15, which I accomplished that goal, but it was not a good goal to have, because that did not provide me with enough time to do the other stuff that I need to do. So I went over there, dropped off the stuff. I think I packed up any trash that I needed to take to the dumpster, because at my old apartment in Kenner / New Orleans, the dumpster was mad far away, so you had to drive to the dumpster, and so I had to make multiple trips. I had rented a pickup truck, because I was really worried about like being able to clean out my house. I wanted to get my security deposit back, so I rented a truck from a couple years ago when I got hit, and I had to have a rental car for maybe a month or so. I got like a lot of points, so I ended up using points for that. And then I was like, aha, I can book from like 3 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then I can give myself a ride to the airport. So I put all the trash in a bunch of magazines and all, and then like on my trash can for my kitchen, I put in the bed of the pickup truck, and it was like one of those you flip open, flip closed, and all that stuff. So I just stood it up in the pickup truck, and on the way driving, it just like toppled over. So not only am I like trying to rush and throw this garbage away and get to my mom's, I had to pick up random trash from the bed because I'm dumb. So I did all that, got to mom's, dropped off the stuff, came back, and so I knew I had to turn in my key for my apartment. I had to mail off some shirts. I had a t-shirt company that I started in like 2008 and called Black Unlimited, and so I had some shirts left over from just having Cafe Press send me all my shirts that they printed. I think it was Cafe Press, or it was like Moo. It was some company that you had to print and pay. And so I had a bunch of Sigma shirts, I had a bunch of Zeta shirts, and I had a bunch of Lambda Alpha Upsilon shirts. And so I got back home to my apartment. I tried to like get as much as I could, but I left like a broom. I left a little bit of stuff in my bathroom because I was just like, I don't have time. But for the most part, I cleaned out my apartment, and I hope that they still give me back my security deposit, even though I left like random small things. Fingers crossed. So I went to go drop off my key, and luckily I just had this like calm. I'm like, man, whatever happens happens. Ain't no point in stressing out, ain't no point in getting worried. So however long these people take to do whatever, that's how long it's gonna take. So I went there. She was like, oh, let me go get your file, I gotta change the date, taking her time. I was like, okay. Dropped off my keys, and then luckily that morning, that's part of the 8 to 12 time frame, I went to Walmart to get some rubber bands so I could mail some hangers. I wanted to wrap up the hangers, and I found out there's a FedEx in the Walmart that's right next to my apartment. So I don't know if that's new, but it was right on time. And so I had a box for my hangers to mail because I just couldn't throw away a bunch of hangers. I had the box of hangers and like a little small box of just random things to mail to myself in California. I had a box of Sigma shirts to mail to my frat Rob so he can do whatever with the shirts. And then I had the box of Zeta shirts to send to my sister so she could do whatever with the shirts. I'll put pictures up of the shirts on the screen. And then I had to mail the luckily the AT&T, I had just switched from Cox to AT&T, so I was able to mail the AT&T equipment at any FedEx location. So I got there, I had a little grocery cart, had all my boxes. She was like, oh, let me see your ID. I was like, oh, let me go to my car. So I run to my car, and then I get to my car and realize that my ID is in my pocket. Because when I go to the airport, I like to get my ID and a credit card just in case I need to get something. So I ran back, and I was like, the whole time my ID was in my pocket. She was like, okay. Gave her my ID, and she just took her time because it was 5 boxes. She had to do the measurements. She had to put in the addresses because there was like three different addresses for the stuff I was sending, and then the AT&T stuff. So the whole time I was just like, I just resolved that I wasn't gonna make my flight. I was just like, oh well, not making my flight. Stay calm. So she finished with all the boxes, and then so in New Orleans we have a new because it's not we anymore, but they have a new airport. So the new airport is literally down the street from my apartment, but the rental place is where the old airport is. So if I could have just had somebody drop me off and then return my vehicle for me, it could have been all good because it was down the street. I'd have just been chilling at the gate waiting for my flight. But I couldn't just go down the street and drop off my car. I had to go to Airline Drive, and so I was supposed to turn in the car at 3 p.m. I didn't turn in the car till 3:15. No, 3:45. I turned in the car at 3:45 and my flight was supposed to board at 4:15. So I was like, man, I am not making my flight. So I get there at 3:45, return my car, just get on the rental car shuttle bus, and as we're pulling up to the airport, it's 4:15. And so I was like, man, okay. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna just have to tell my dad, update him with my new flight credentials. So I go into the airport, I go to the Southwest counter, and one lady's like, oh, you might be able to still make it. Your check bags won't fly with you. And I'm team carry-on, but you know, when you move into a whole different state, you might have to get some check bags. The other lady was like, I don't know if she can make it. But luckily the one lady was just saying that I could make it, so I tried. I just gave them my bag to check, and then I have TSA pre-check, which it was actually less people in the regular line, but I ain't taking off my shoes and I am not removing my laptop. So went behind the 4 or 5 people in TSA pre-check, looked at my ticket, and B12 was supposedly my gate, so I was trying to run because I got a bad knee. Like after doing all that stuff all day, like my knee was hurting. This is 33. But yeah, I was trying to run, but I couldn't run like that. I was like scooting, and so went all the way to gate B12, which was at the end, and then I was just like, American Airlines, because I fly Southwest, and I was just like, because you know sometimes they change out gates and stuff. I was like, and so I looked back at my ticket, I was like, B5 is my gate, B12 is my boarding position. So I literally passed my gate because I was on the B5 was on the right, and then I switched to the left to go to B12. I literally passed my gate, and I could have just, I mean, I made it though. Like I passed this like janitor dude like twice. I'm wondering what he thought, like, what is she doing? But I'm guessing he sees people like that all the time. So yeah, I passed my gate because and the only time I've ever missed a flight, I did the exact same thing. So at least I'm consistent. Like I be at my seat instead of my gate. But this time I didn't miss my flight, so I made it to my flight. I got to pick up my bags the next day, which, man, the Uber, like, it just didn't seem that expensive when I flew in the first time. But then when I went back, I have to come back and tell you the story around that, because I gotta meet my cousin at the library. But that's I made my flight. I was calm because I was like, getting all hot and bothered ain't gonna make me make my flight. So I just was calm, and I was like, whatever will be will be. And I still got the outcome that I wanted. Not 100% because I would prefer my bags to be with me, but I still made the flight. So I ain't had to freak out, and I still got my desired outcome. I'll be back to tell you about getting my bags.